Alright, welcome back to TEW 2020, the brand split from day one. This is episode 3 of Monday Night Raw, and we are ready. No more Cruiserweight Classic announcements, that's already gone underway. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. Great first episode, nice and short. Really what I've hope for the future of those Cruiserweight Classic episodes to not be too long. And, oh right, we have the third of 4 triple threat matches going into this build to SummerSlam. Chris Jericho has punched his ticket into the title match. Cesaro has punched his ticket. Now it is down to find out whether or not Kevin Owens, Sheamus, or Hideo Itami will be that third man. And the winner of that fourth triple threat match will take on the Golden Boy, Seth Rollins, in the main event, maybe not, of SummerSlam. So that's really all we have planned for this episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm not very good with planning ahead, and I know if I was booking in the real world, that would be terrible. You need to plan ahead, but this is TEW, and this is how I like to book. So let's just get right into the the next episode of Monday Night Raw. To open the show, the newly reunited tag team of JeriShow, Chris Jericho and Big Show, make their entrance to the ring. Jericho has a mic in hand and he tells the WWE Universe that Stephanie is getting worried about Cesaro after he won that first triple threat match. She's worried that he's going to win all the triple threat matches, but Chris Jericho says Cesaro is a mere pawn, and Steph has nothing to worry about because you know who else is in that? Confirmed to be in that fourth triple threat match? Me, Chris Jericho. This, of course, prompts Cesaro to come out, and an angry Cesaro, who also has a microphone in hand, tells Chris Jericho that he is a major threat to this little faction, and he could beat JeriShow in their own game, a tag team match. Jericho says, a tag match? With what partner? Dean isn't here anymore, and your little Canadian friend is back at the hospital for like the 80th time. Cesaro then says to Jericho, I can find someone because you've made so many enemies in your time in the WWE that it's possible that the person I end up teaming with hates you much more than I do. That's it for that segment. Jericho and Big Show being challenged to their first tag team match back as a team by Cesaro. Who will be the partner for Cesaro? We'll find out later tonight. But our opening match, we have R-Truth taking on Danny Burch. Danny Burch, I have just signed to NXT. I'm teaming him with Oney Lorcan, and this is just a little match to get him some more pop. Even if he's at like 8, I think, in the United States. So when you're that low, any type of match, even if it's a 1.5 minute match, it's going to get you some pop when you're on TV. So R-Truth gets a little momentum after that match. But after his match, Golden Dustin Rhodes appears on the Titantron in that same little director's chair setup. And he tells R-Truth that it's not so easy to beat him up, is it? You got to think smarter, you got to think better. And Golden Dustin Rhodes is just better than R-Truth. It's not that much of a promo. He's just mocking R-Truth for not being able to beat him up. Heath Slater then enters the arena, and he's very grateful for the help of the Usos, but confused to why they would help him, and he would like to know. So the Usos come out and explain to Heath that they know a lot about family. They're a part of this major fucking huge Samoan family that has every fucking Samoan you've ever heard of in wrestling. It's got the Rocks in the part of the family. The Roman Reigns is a part of the family. Rikishi's their father. Afa and Sika. It's a major family. And they especially know the pain and the horror of what it feels like to not be able to provide for them. And the Usos intend to keep talking, but before the speech gets too sappy, the one Austin Aries comes out to ruin the party. Aries tells them to shut the fuck up. Probably not those exact words. He'll probably get his ass fired. But he's essentially just like, quit your bitching. And he's still pissed at the Usos last week for not letting him beat down this fucking scrub Heath Slater. and he challenges one of the Usos to a match right now. Jimmy then accepts, and the match gets underway. In a 65 rated match, Jimmy Uso is defeated by Austin Aries with a brainbuster, but during the match, Bobby Roode comes out, and he doesn't intentionally try to distract Jimmy, but what what Bobby Roode does is beat up Heath Slater and Jey Uso, who's on the outside. It's not a DQ because none of those men were in the match. Handle changes because, yes, we're going to turn Heath Slater face, but I don't want to do it. It's going to give me that penalty. But for some reason, Bobby Roode and Austin Aries were faces. So, oh, damn, I have to... Okay, I'll turn Bobby Roode. Turn was a complete success. That's good. I'm not going to turn Slater yet because I don't want to get that, oh, it was too early. So, going to be a quick cut here. I'm going to add to the next angle Austin Aries to turn heel. And after beating down both the Usos and chasing Heath up the ramp, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode begin to yell at the Usos to go back to SmackDown. You were drafted there, so stay out of Raw. Co-general manager Shane McMahon comes out and he tells Aries and Roode that the reason the Usos have been on Raw the past week and this week, even though they were drafted to SmackDown, was because they were traded to Raw. Shane knew what was going to happen with Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella. He knew they were going to demand a trade, so he was one step ahead. And the day after the first SmackDown Live, he traded them to SmackDown. He traded Nikki Bella, Alicia Fox, and what's the wording? He traded Nikki Bella, Alicia Fox, and he helped Daniel Bryan sign 2 NXT names in exchange for the Usos. And after Shane is done explaining, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode get a massive super kick, each on the chin from each of the Usos, and they stand tall as we cut to the back. Alright, let's turn Austin Aries heel now. Turn was a complete success. Yeah, they were heels the whole time, at least on the main roster, but I guess they were faces in NXT for some reason, but we're not doing that. They're heels. So we do cut to the back, and it's Cesaro in the locker room. He's not really looking out for anyone. He's not asking anyone to team with because he knows somebody's going to come up and ask to be his partner for the tag team match, and he's damn right. It's Randy Orton. Randy Orton and Chris Jericho have a lot of chemistry, but last week, Randy Orton had his win in the triple threat match stolen by Chris Jericho, and Randy Orton tells Cesaro, "You were right. I do hate Jericho more than you, and I'm going to be your partner in that tag team match in the main event." Still in the back, however, The Miz is beating down Darren Young in the parking lot, and Miz has a steel chair, and he Pillmanizes Darren Young's kneecap, just takes it out, furious. Miz, even though he lost fair and square, is blaming Darren Young for just being a fucking thorn in his side. He's claiming that Darren Young is the reason that neither of them won the triple threat match, and Cesaro was the one that won it. So Miz takes out his kneecap, and Bob Backlund runs to Darren Young, begging for help, medical personnel. We then have another match between Xavier Woods and Alberto Del Rio, and this is Xavier Woods' kind of redemption match. Kofi Kingston and Big E are at ringside cheering their boy, who they've had some hardships with recently, Xavier Woods, but they're still cheering him on, and that's enough. Xavier Woods is able to beat Alberto Del Rio, and his boys are beginning to forgive him. However, as Big E and Kofi Kingston are in the ring celebrating on the Titantron, Bray Wyatt appears in his rocking chair in his cabin, and he tells the New Day that they may have won the battle, they may have retained their championships, but Bray doesn't care about that anymore. All he wants is Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods, frightened by these words, he doesn't move, he just looks paralyzed, and Bray Wyatt sets out the challenge for Woods. Shane is in front of his bulletin board filled with red lines and pictures, trying to solve this Roman Reigns mystery, but it is a complete mess. Shane turns to the camera, completely defeated, and says he has given up the search. He has no idea what he's doing. Shane apologizes to the police, he apologizes to the fans, and he most importantly apologizes to Roman Reigns and his family. Then one of WWE's medical staff, doctor maybe, played by Oni Lorcan, comes into frame. Dr. Lorcan tells Shane that Roman's recovery is going to be much faster than expected, and he will be making an appearance next week. Shane is hit with a major sigh of relief as he can give up the search and not feel bad about himself. I don't know. We then have our semi-main event getting an 86. Hideo Itami may have been the weak link, but for being not over and getting a 63, that is fucking great. Hideo Itami makes his main roster debut, and the way this match goes is Hideo Itami hits the GTS on Sheamus. He goes for the pin, and shades of Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens yanks Hideo Itami off, hits a pop-up powerbomb on Hideo Itami, but the powerbomb is directed to the outside. So Hideo Itami is pop-up powerbomb to the fucking floor, and Kevin Owens then hits Sheamus with another pop-up powerbomb and picks up the victory. We then fade to the GM's office, there might be two GM offices on Raw, but Stephanie is in the ring with her new trio, and they are just not getting along. Jericho and Big Show, they're homies, but Stephanie is kind of disappointed with Big Show not being able to carry his weight recently, and Seth Rollins hates the Big Show. Seth Rollins is kind of iffy on, Chris Jericho. So just a huge mess going on with this little new faction that Stephanie is trying to recreate. She's trying to recreate the Authority, and it's not going too well. JeriShow then go to their match, and in a 96 rated match, because all of these boys are over. I think Cesaro's the least over one, but he might be the best wrestler of the four. In a 96 rated match, the team of Cesaro and Randy Orton defeat JeriShow in 1953 when Cesaro submitted Chris Jericho with the sharpshooter. Randy Orton is able to get his revenge on JeriShow. Cesaro is proving to the world, proving to the new Authority, or whatever it's going to be called, that he is a major threat, and these two win the match. But following the match, a very reluctant Seth Rollins, he is not happy helping JeriShow. He's probably just doing this under orders of Stephanie McMahon. He comes out and beats up Cesaro and Randy Orton with JeriShow as we go off the air. Even in beating up, there's still some heat between Big Show and Seth Rollins. Jericho and Seth Rollins, neither of them are too happy with each other. Again, Seth Rollins is not happy that Jericho seems to be trying to take Rollins' spot in the Authority. Chris Jericho feels that Rollins is getting special treatment over the other members of this new Authority. Just a huge mess, but at least for tonight, they work sort of together to take out their two biggest rivals. And that's how we end Monday Night Raw. A 91 rated show, that's really good. That is really good. That is a great Raw. Not much more I can say. I'm saying a lot because I don't know what else to say. I can see the time underneath me. I felt that these episodes have been getting too long, so I am kind of happy that this one seems to be a little shorter. I do this all the time. I have such trouble closing videos sometimes that I just ramble on about fucking nothing. So I'm going to cut myself off before I keep talking about bullshit. I hope to see you guys for the next episode of this save. It'll be episode 3 of SmackDown, episode 2 of SmackDown Live in the new era. I hope, oh god, are we still going to be calling it the new era? I mean, that name sucks, but it is the new era. I am essentially rebooking the whole new era. Again, look at me, fucking rambling about nothing. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you for the next episode of the brand split from day one.